Look at the state of this. Definitely needs to go clean. It's rotten. Hello, Geordie Scaper here, and welcome to my adventures in aquascaping. Alright, as the thumbnail says, this is a video all about maintenance in my mini studio. Some of the tanks are looking absolutely terrible, but that was intentional. So you guys could see, even when they're looking terrible, it's not too hard to get them back looking right again. And some of them are in the early stages, and it's perfectly normal to have some of the problems we're going to see in the video. So I'm just going to show you my routine in 6 easy steps on how I maintain the aquariums. One thing I won't include is glass cleaning, thorough filtration cleaning, things like that. I'll save that for a later video. So this is just general maintenance, keeping the tanks clean and sorting any little issues that we've got. So hope you enjoy the video, guys. Hope you get something from it. If you do so, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, blah blah blah. Without further ado, let's crack on, get stuck into these tanks. Enjoy. So the first thing I always start with is a glass clean. The reason I start with it first is so I don't forget. If I start messing with the tanks, getting stuck into them, plants, algae as you can see here, which is horrible, I tend to forget to clean the glass, so I do that first. So I'll go around and clean all the tanks first using the follow equipment. I've got a pad here from Seachem's AQUASCAPE range. I've had these for years and they're brilliant. Toothbrush, handy toothbrush, used of course, not used of course. And this with the razor and also just a general cleaner. So this is the equipment I use to clean the glass on the tanks. So let's go. Oh yeah, one thing I will say is if you're worried about cross-contamination, algae into one tank, any diseases from the fish going into one tank and another, what I tend to do is keep some boiling water at hand and just dip the pads in, dip the blade in, etc., toothbrush to take care of that. So let's get stuck in with the glass cleaning. So on this shallow tank, I'm just going to use a pad because obviously it's shallow, I don't need to reach very far. So just give the glass a good clean. Sometimes if you're in a hard water area, you'll get more of a hard lime scale. My water's fairly soft, so I don't get that, fortunately. But yeah, just give it a good clean. Any harder to reach areas, I'll just get stuck in with the actual toothbrush. Really handy for that. Clean the grills of the filter. Things like that. Especially handy for the silicone work on the sides. Super handy toothbrush. So this one, obviously a complete mess. This is just diatoms. This is perfectly normal during early setup. This has only been going a few weeks. And you do get diatoms. Believe it or not, it does just go away, but you can easily remove it with siphoning out, and which you'll see is do later on, and adding algae eating crew. So ottos, ammono shrimp love eating diatoms, snails, etc. So, but we'll come back to this. For now I'm just going to clean the glass. The only difference being here, I'm actually going to use the scraper from Seachem. Just using the razor to make sure I get any stubborn algae spots off the glass, and obviously it's easier to reach to the bottom rather than the handle. That's the only difference with this one. It'll be pretty much the same with all the other tanks, so let's go to the almighty time lapse. When it comes to areas like this, it's hard getting in with the toothbrush or anything. Rather than leaving it, I think it's just as easy to just move the pipework along, so you can get stuck in. Just move the pipework, clean the area, and just put them straight back again. Okay, so we've cleaned all the glass. Now it's time for step 2. Step 2 is remove algae, diatoms, dying plants, decaying plants, any dead livestock you find. Just remove all that, as much detritus, crap. Just rake it all out into the open, ready to be siphoned out. So that's step 2. So I usually turn the filters off at this point as well, so I'll get the filtration off and get stuck into this tank. I think this is the priority, so this is the one we'll focus on. So to tackle this, what I'm going to do is just take a little water out in a jug, place it out of the way, and using a trusty toothbrush, I'm just going to try and get as much out as I can physically, and then after that we can siphon the remainder out. So you can see that filth. So we'll just put that in my jug, just get out of the way. It's just horrible, slimy, brown diatoms. Like I say, I wouldn't worry about this. It is quite normal in the early stages to get this horrible diatoms. But algae does tend to love this. So just twist it around your toothbrush, brush it on any surfaces, comes off really easy. It's just a bit of a pain, that's all. This may seem a bit silly, but you can actually use a comb to actually just rake through the thin grass, and that'll take care of it. Strange, eh? Doesn't do the plant any harm, but grabs the diatoms. See if you can see this better. So we'll start low down, come up. So there you go. Grab that with the comb. Little tip for you. So this is Algae vivipara, as I said, and I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. Comb it, which might sound ridiculous. Okay, so off camera I've just been getting stuck in, getting as much diatoms out as I possibly can. And what I decided to do, I was actually combing through the Algae vivipara, and I decided I'm just going to take it out. It was in bunches anyways, so I wanted to thin it out, so I just took it out and I'll plant it again. It grows so quick compared to the cryptocoryne species I've got in the back there, the Spiralis tiger. So thin the vivipara out and just plant it again, and that way it's easier to clean as well. What I've took out, the big bunch, I'll just clean under rinse it with some water, and that solves that problem. So the comb trick, yeah, wasn't for me. So I release as much as I can. It still looks a bit dirty, but once we siphon some out, it'll start to take shape. It's getting there. Just need a bit of patience. Before we move on to the next step, in the irrigumi here, we do have some green hay algae or thread algae. I think that's my own fault, because I wanted to grow this in fairly quick for a video, and I think the light is a bit too strong for the amount of CO2 I'm injecting, so that was my fault. But again, I'm not too worried about it. I'll get rid of this using the toothbrush again. All I do here is just brush that up, and similar with the diatoms, comes out fairly easy. I'll just remove as much physically as I can, and then the rest should come out when I siphon out. So I just literally brush through. This is Blixia japonica. So, oops. So I'll just disturb this as much as I can. You see all that there. So that's that green thread algae. I remember when I first got into AQUASCAPE and keeping fish tanks, this used to really stress me out. But you just accept it, it's part of it. You're going to get algae. It's just taking care of it. Taking care of the source, like I was saying before. Mine's probably too much light. not the right balance with the CO2, but I'll lower the light levels and see how it goes. It was just me trying to rush things, blasting the light to try and get it grow too quick without doing enough water changes. So that's how that's happened, I think. So now I can just, like I say, physically take some out. In this case, I would definitely steep this toothbrush in some boiling hot water. I did beforehand, removing the diatoms, so now obviously I'll do it again once I've done this tank, but I just thought I'd show you this. So that's the two major problems I've got at the minute. The rest of the tanks are fine, but this tank, green thread algae and the diatoms perfectly normal, green algae not too bad to take care of. Like I say, once I've cleaned the filters, the light levels are lowered and the CO2 is dialed in better, it should take care of this. And also the algae eating crew. So I've got some monos in here, auto sinkless, and there's a few snails in there as well, whole neorite snails. You can literally just rag that in and that releases all the detritus, which you'll remove during your water change anyways. Just remember, if you do this, whenever you do this sort of thing, always follow with the water change, because you don't want all this released detritus floating around your tank. Remove as much as possible. What I'll probably do as well is go to a couple of water changes a week till this sorts itself out. So rather than the one which I've been doing, I'll up it to two, around about 50-60% water change, just to help with these algae issues. But you can see that's looking a lot better already. Alright, so now on to step 3. We'll start with the easy one. So just a simple water change. I still use a container, jerry can, because I prefer to siphon out, and the tanks are smaller so it doesn't bother us too much. With a larger tank I would siphon using a pump or something similar. So yeah, this one's really easy. It's newly set up and everything's good with this one. So siphon, I'll probably take around about 70% out of this one. I can't believe how easy this one is. It's touch wood, clean as a whistle. Obviously this one is really bad, so I'll siphon as much out as I can. I'll just show you how easy it is to siphon out the diatoms. I think you can see in that corner there. There, just comes straight up. Doesn't attach very well, so that's a bonus for us AQUASCAPers. Don't worry about taking a bit of sand up, you can always replace sand. Yeah, so it's all coming up nice and easy. So, I think it's time for another time lapse, guys. Okay, so while I'm busy, just keep everything moist by giving it a spray down now and then. You don't want your plants drying out, especially if certain tanks are taking you a while. So a little spray down, just to stop the foam drying out with the heat of the light. Just a little note, usually step 4, I would clean the pre-filters and the filtration equipment. But I'm not going to do it in this video. I think I said earlier, I'm not going to do it this video because I'm going to do a video all on filtration, maintaining filtration equipment. So this is usually stage 4, so now we're going to stage 5, which is filling the tanks back up with fresh water and adding some dechlorinator. So let's do that, we're getting there. So when I refill, I use a hose with a jet spray, and it's so good for when you're doing new setups. It's great, so you can just fill straight away without disturbing everything, and I just find it really easy. I do have a tap inside. I have done a video on that, all about that system. Basically it's an inside tap that's attached to a thermostatic valve, so the water always comes out at 25 degrees Celsius, and it's just easy for me. I don't have to test the water and fill direct from the hose. Obviously adding the dechlorinator, which is Seachem Prime. I always add this. I do add it to the tank. A lot of people do comment saying it should be added to the water first, which you can do both. It is best, to be honest, to add it to the water first. So if you fill in the buckets, put it in the bucket into the tank. But you can, as per directions, add to the tank direct. There's no harm in doing that. So let's do it. So as you can see there, doesn't disturb everything, having a fine jet, so it's great. So we'll just add the prime. So I usually do this routine once a week, and it usually takes us about an hour and a half. Sometimes a bit more if I've got to do a bit more trimming, things like that. But yeah, so I think this one I'll probably do twice a week now till the diatoms goes, and obviously add those algae as I was telling you about. I think it's time now. Okay, the sixth and final step during my maintenance routine is adding any water conditioners I use and fertilizers I use. So first up, with these nano aquariums, because I was saying with the flow isn't too good with all hardscape that's in there, I like to add pristine, Seachem pristine. So what this does is break down and eliminate sludge and detritus. You didn't get no water change. Like I say, there's some dead spots in here, and that's why I like to use this. So that's Seachem pristine. It's classed as natural organic waste management, so that's that. Great product. I also dose flourish. I dose flourish after every water change. I do use different products for fertilization. There is videos on my channel if you want to check them out, show my full dosing routine. But after a water change, I always dose with flourish. It just keeps it simple, so it's a comprehensive supplement for planted aquariums, which is ideal, and it's just quick and easy for us to dose with flourish after a water change. So yeah, use that one. I dose daily with Seachem Flourish XL, particularly after a water change. This is a bioavailable carbon for planted aquariums, and I use this daily. So once I've done all the dosing, the final thing I do is just give the glass, the outside of the glass, rub down good clean. I guess it's pretty pointless cleaning the inside of the tank if the front of the glass is all covered in smudges and finger marks and fingerprints and stuff like that, so I always finish off with a good clean of that. Hope you've getting something from this video, guys. As always, really do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Till next video, see you next time.